things above, of Jesus and His glory, of Jesus and His love. I love to tell the story because I know 'tis true. It satisfies my longings as nothing else can do. I love to tell the story, 'twill be my theme in glory, to tell the old story of Jesus and His love.
I love to tell the story for those who know it best, seem hungry and thirsty to hear it like the rest. And when in scenes of glory I sing a new song, 'twill be the old story that I have loved so long.
I love to tell the story, 'twill be my theme in glory, to tell the old story of Jesus and His love, of Jesus and His
Jojo was a man who thought he was a loner, but he knew it couldn't last. Jojo lived his home in Tucson, Arizona, for some California grass. Get back, get back, get back to where you once belonged. Get back, get back, get back to where you once belonged. Get back, Jojo.
So, has anyone got one of these on the wall at home? On a tree, garden shed? Well, in a lot of cultures, horseshoes are considered lucky. Whether they're worn out, whether they're big or they're small. So what the old blacksmith story is, if you put this up on the wall, you wait to the end of the month, it would have filled right up to the top with luck. That's why they've got to be up this way. Like that, filled with luck, it can fall out. So your luck's gone. So you've got to have it up this way. So at the end of the month, full of luck to the there, generally a full moon at the end of the month, and you turn it on its side, sort of turn it towards you, the luck in this horseshoe flows out into your life, and then you make a wish. Then you put it back where it was, on the tree, on the side, and you wait for the next one. So every horseshoe, you get 12 wishes a year. Not bad, is it? This is for a really big wish, because it's a big shoe. I've got one here, it's got lucky horseshoes on the handful there. We do sell them. These are more of a souvenir, and they're stamped out in our behalf, because we couldn't possibly make them. We couldn't possibly make them for $5. I haven't got many left, but this is them there. Churchill Island, Australia written on them, and they're just highly polished metal. You could have these inside. They've got holes in them, and so you could put a fishing line there and just hang it up somewhere, or you could have that on your dressing table up like that. But don't forget, every month you've got to take even this little fella off the wall and then point it towards you, and luck flows from there, and you can make a wish and put it back. There's no use by date with a horseshoe. You get 12 wishes a year, and they go on forever and ever. You can pass them on to your children or your grandchildren, so the wishes don't go away. And it works out $5 for these. And it works out $5 if you get 12 wishes. That's 41 cents a wish. Can't even buy a bag of olives for that. Well, I suppose you could, but you can't make a wish in a bag of olives. All of this is no good for the teeth. So, if anyone's interested, give us a yell. I haven't got a great deal left. I'll have to go down to the centre. But if I run out, you can go down to the centre. They sell them down there. Okay, thanks very much. Oh, yeah, close your eyes and you pick one. Some might be more lucky than others. Good on you. They're not bad souvenirs, really, for someone if you're overseas. If not, the working dog is at 3 o'clock straight across. Jess will be doing that today, our carriage.
Thanks for that.
Es para los dos, ¿eh?
No, compra uno.
Excuse me.
It's going to be a long afternoon.
With me. That's cheating. Come here. This one first. Don't look at me like that. Here. So as you can see, he is sticking to the fence line. He is aware of what he's supposed to do, but they do like to cut corners. Good boy. So I am asking Zephyr to travel in an anti-clockwise direction by using the command away. Stop. Away. Come by. Zephyr is now travelling in a clockwise direction. I command to come by. Away. Away. Come by. Away. Zephyr is well aware that he's in trouble for nipping the sheep. Whenever Zephyr's in trouble, I do tend to growl at him. Yes, I do growl at the dog. It's much more effective than using the word no with Zephyr. I can say, Zephyr, no. Zephyr, no. Zephyr, no. Immediately, instantly, he does start twitching a little bit. The ears go back. He can't look at me anymore. He knows he's in trouble. Hop up. Are we still mates? Thank you. Sorry. I do growl at him because that's what his mother would have done to him. That's exactly how the dogs communicate to each other. In this case, I'm trying to be the top dog. You need to listen to me. Bear with me, I am just going to pop these sheep back out into the paddock. And I will then bring the turkeys in. Can you all still hear me there? Thank you to the single person who replied. And the rest of you, can you all still hear me? Yeah. All right. Well, the border collies are said to be
the most intelligent dogs in the world. Did you know that the Border Collies can learn up to 1,000 words? At least look surprised. The Border Collies do originate in the borders of Scotland and England. Around the 1700s, they were used on farms over there. Bred for the land. Step up. Come. One of these dogs can be up to 2 to 3 people on the farm. When it comes to rounding up the stock across, one of these dogs can handle around 600 sheep on their own. Turkeys, please. Around. Not the blacks, the turkeys.
4 o'clock.
Get around. Stop. Come. Get around. To run anything from cattle, sheep. He did most of his training with the turkeys here, as well as the Indian run ducks over the farm. So you can see here, without having to say too much, I should be able to guide him in the direction I wish him to travel by using my body. Stop. Pop on the stool.
Go be quick.
Hop up on your stool.
Coming.
Hop down. Hop down. Hop up on your stool. Now hop down.
Let's take it for day.
That there was
I think he
just
heard
short,
that.
exercise with Stefan to try and make sure that he is paying attention to the person. He's very naughty, very cheap, tongue down, down. Her name is Tonka. He's our 11-year-old, semi-retired. This is usually her show. She has one chosen words to say this afternoon, and it is intimidating him a little bit. Ignore her. We work the turkeys with our mouths closed. Carefully, yes. Good boy, much better. showing their border collie. Excuse me, you're forgetting one. Both of them. 2 years to fully train a border collie to their best ability. Your border collie should be working with the stock successfully from anywhere between 6 and 12 months of age stock. Zephyr, stop. Finished. Good boy. Zephyr's command finished is of course when I ask him to position himself in a place where he's no longer threatening the stock. In this case, he positions himself up on the stool. If we're working in yards or something like that, I always ask him to leave the yards until I'm ready to do some more work with him. Zephyr, have you been misbehaving this afternoon? Come here. Sit up straight, please. Chin up, smile for all those lovely cameras out there. Chin up. Don't forget the ones down the end. The ones down this end. The average working life of a border collie is about 9 to 10 years. The average lifespan being 12 to 14 years. If you have any questions about the dogs, please don't hesitate to ask. Unfortunately, Zephyr and I have run out of time. We would like to thank you all for watching the dog demonstration this afternoon. If you would like to make your way to the live shearing shed just behind you over here, I do believe Danny will be in to shear a sheep for you all in just a couple of moments. Thank you.
Take that away the wires and be very inconvenient. So that would be there. The only reason it's there is for a safety thing for yourselves in case the sheep come crashing over that door. You've done a big leak into the crowd. So this would be here. But this raised board or stage has been around for the last 30 years. Before that, we're all on the same level. So therefore, you would have to, if you were picking up the shear working in the shed, you'd have to be right down like this and pick up the fleece. This makes it a bit easier, especially if you're getting on a bit. Most farmers are well over the age of 60. They've had enough bending in their life. So this way they walk up and it's level here without waist height, and they just pick the fleece up like that. And then got a short-handed boot and sweep the area. What shearers do, they shear sheep. They don't pick up fleeces. We've done all this work in sheds, pressing wool, the whole lot. And so we're shearers, and that's all we do. We get paid for what we do. So the more sheep we shear, the more money we get. So we go at the back of me here is a catching pan, which holds about 10 or 15 sheep fairly tightly, so I don't have to run around and grab it. So I go through here, grab a sheep, come out, shear it, and we go out that chute down there underneath, and then I would walk away. By that time someone would have picked the wool up and swept the board, and I'd grab another one and out like that. That would continue on for 2 hours. We'd all stop and have a cup of tea, and then again for another 2 hours. So we work 8 hours a day in the shed. We're actually there for 10 hours, but it's 8 hours work. And for one shearer to shear 140 odd sheep average, adult sheep, it's enough for one farmer to take care of that. He'd be busy enough because he would have through the sheep every time this is empty, bring it up and bring some more woolly ones, and take the shorn ones away. At the same time, pick and sweep up this wool, and at the same time, press it. So the fleeces would come off the sheep, thrown out to a table. They'd just go around the outside, any dirty or shorter bits. Keep aside. You still get money for them, but less money, because wool is graded on length. So you put like with like. If you put that length all together, but if it's any longer, you've got to keep it aside. So it'll be loaded into this press here. It's a very old one. This is done at a manual press. Fill it up, fill that wool backpack up, and if you can't get any more, and jump in it with your feet and push it down. Then put more till you can't get any more. A big steel plate goes over the top. The chains are hooked up to it, and you press down like that, like a ratchet or crank action it is. And and the plate goes halfway down to the press, and you put 3 steel spikes in there, take it off, and you do it again. You've got to put that press down 4 times, and that'll give you about 150 kilograms. You can go up to 200 if you wanted to, but you've just got to put it down more. Whatever you do, whatever you press, when it goes through the auction system before it's sold, a weight is taken of that wool that's in the pack, plus the weight of the pack taken off. So if you didn't have the steel spikes and you took the plate off, the wool should just rise to the top. And I can just show you here, this is lamb's wool. It's a fair bit of wool, very bulky. I could get like that with my hands, and press it down like that, and if I hung on, it'll stay there. Same as the spikes in the press. So if you didn't took them out, that's what happens. So all your work, if you didn't do that, would go to waste, and you'd never get anywhere. But that's what wool is, and that's the best way. If you press the bales like that, it's easy to transport, and it's easy to store. You stack them on top of each other in the shed or another shed somewhere. One man couldn't lift them, but you can roll them, put planks to get them onto a truck, and you'd be surprised. But when you're doing wool, you use a hook like that. You couldn't get them with your hands, too slippery. So you have a hook like that or 2 years, and you can roll a bale around like that, and it's really reasonably easy. You'd be surprised. 150 odd kilogram, one man, you can roll them. Different if you've got to go up a fair height. But, and so that's all we do on the farm. This wool, we have no trouble getting rid of it. This is a mixture here. This is all lamb's wool, and that's adult sheep, and so that's why we've got so much. We've got to do a bit of a good paper in between to separate. And as I said, we have no trouble getting rid of it, especially lamb's wool. And the price on the international market, it's not worth much. It's about $3 a kilogram. The wool is still going to come off the sheep, no matter what the price is. You can hang on and wait for the price to better, but that might take 2 or 3 years or more or less. It's a gamble. So that's all we do on the farm. This wool is very good for blankets and for sweaters and for socks, overcoats. It's not apparel wool, and it comes off merino sheep. We can't have them down south here because it's too wet. All you've got to do is go to Melbourne, 100 mile north, and keep going north. That's where the merinos are. Low rainfall, and the wool can be as fine as cashmere. And that's very valuable because it's made for cloth, for men and women's suits. And Tasmania is another place, central Tasmania. That's where the Zegnas and a few of the Italians go and buy direct off the farm. And it's some of the finest wool in the world. But we can't have it here. Our main sheep here are crossbreds, black-faced Suffolks, Border Leicesters, Romneys. Any English people here will know all those names because they've got towns named after them probably. And because they come from England, which is a higher rainfall than here, and they do well, and most of the sheep or the lambs go to the meat industry. It doesn't happen here, we just keep all the females and to breed from ourselves, but most commercial farms sell the lambs off every year to the meat industry. And it's been going well, it's been a bit of a drop this year in it, of course. Then again, our meat also works on the international market, and no farm in Australia is subsidised. So it is a gamble on the heart. So if you go broke and you make the wrong management decisions, you can go out backwards and no one's going to help you. So as long as you're aware of that before you get into it, that's why a lot of farms in this country, it's generation after generation passed on. So they know exactly what their mothers and fathers went through and their grandfathers and so forth. The biggest fear of any farm, of course, is drought. Here it's not bad. You might get it, might rain properly for 2 years, but not like a desert. You move up to Queensland and that might rain for 5 to 6 years. And then you've got the problem, you're going to feed your stock for that long, you'll run out of money, or you sell them and wait until you can buy in again. Very heartbreaking business. We don't want to talk about that much. But that's what we do on the farm. We don't spin wool, we don't wash it, we don't dye it. The raw product then just goes through the auction. It is used domestically here, but about 70% of it goes overseas. Where it's manufactured in the goods and probably some of it might have been sold back to us. But you must remember that all wool and woolen garments are aimed for cold climate. Canada, North America, all of Europe that snows. It's no use me going over to Singapore or Malaysia trying to sell you wool. You're not interested because the climate's not suited for it. So everything's aimed at cold climate countries. And the wool has been on a bit of a decline lately, mainly because price-wise people have diversified into other industries, and it's starting to make a bit of a comeback now. So that's the story of the wool, that's what we do on the farm. And to get the wool off, there's only 2 ways that I know of. If you know another way, leave your name and phone number and I'll get in touch with you. This is the old way, but they used to get it off ever since Australia was discovered. right up until 100 years ago. This is how they got it off with these. And these are 9-inch sheep shearing blades. They still make them, and they come from Sheffield. They're made out of very good steel. And the men that used to use them get between 50 and 60 sheep a day. You must remember 100 years ago the sheep were smaller, only cut rather 1.5 kilos of wool. Today we've got sheep that weigh 70 kilogram and cut 7 kilogram of wool. So the men that used these 100 years ago wouldn't get 50 or 60. Not with these they wouldn't. They'd probably get about half that number. They'd have more than one pair, they'd sharpen them up, give them a touch up on the blade about every 10 sheep, and you could take the hair clean off your arm with them. And very sharp, and they're not as hard as what you think to use. But you leave about that much on the sheep. You can't get right down to the bottom. Oh, you could, but you'd be going like this, just on the teeth, and you wouldn't get any. You wouldn't make no money. So they used to take a bite like that, a big leather strap that goes from there around your hand, so that it could be driven into the wall and then cut like that. And that's what you would have heard. And there's a song called Click Over Shears, an Australian folk song, and that's what the click is. So these aren't used anymore, of course, not commercially. We use the machine now. The machine was invented before electricity was invented, so therefore this machine was run off steam. So you would have had a steam engine outside, axle coming through, and it'd be spinning most of the time in neutral. If you wanted the power to go to your machine, you'd have a big cast iron flywheel with a weight on it and a big leather cone like that. And you pull the rope, the weight would come over, the leather cone goes onto the wheel, and that delivers 2,000 revs to this machine. This was an arrow cone, one of the first ones that was invented, and it delivered, even with the steam, it delivered what was required, which is 2,000 revs. So what we've got now, we've moved this far forward. This is the modern handpiece here, and it's got an extra 3 teeth and an extra prong and a cutter, so that it harvests rapeseed more wool with the same effort. It takes more off. And this machine is a precision instrument made out of the best metal you can get, because it's a dangerous machine if you don't know what you're doing. And if it was made out of inferior metal or a cheaper version of it come out, and something happened that blocked up and it flew out of your hand, especially up this height, someone was bending over picking up wool and that fell on their back, they'd be in a terrible state, because they weighs 2.2 kilograms, this machine. It's got and quite a precision machine it is. This works off electric motor, so that supersedes the steam. Steam's gone, so this electric motor on a belt, there's a tube inside a tube that comes down and that delivers the speed. Now the man that invented this particular thing was 100 years ago, and he must have had a good look at us, because that spring at the top is like our shoulder, this is our elbow, and this is our wrist. So how much like us is it? And this is the only 2 ways I've showed you with the hand shears or a machine like this. That's the only way we've got to harvest wool, and they have not improved on this at all. They've tried to make it mechanised, where the sheep would move along and someone would do a little bit of the back leg and another one here, another one there. It was just a disaster, because don't forget, when you put sheep flat on their back, which is different the way I'm going to do it, we sort of stretch the skin out as we go, like a man shaving. But the way they had it, and it cost them like about $10 million for this setup, out of the growers' money. Now it's in a big shed in Western Australia, they can't use it. And what it was, they cut the sheep for ribbons, because they had knocked the sheep out the tights, back legs and front legs, and they couldn't get in between the wrinkles, and it was just, when it was published in the paper, it was just, the population just was an outcry. So they'd rather have done this way than the other way. The other way would have been twice as dear anyway. So anyway, I'm going to shear a lamb for you today. It's a little black-faced Suffolk. It's a bit small. We sort of haven't run out of sheep either. We've run out of time to get the main flock up this morning, which I've got to do tomorrow. So this particular lamb is a purebred black-faced Suffolk, like Jess was working there, and you would wait a little bit longer until the sheep had a bit more wool on it and a bit more body weight. But it doesn't matter, it's got to come off, so wouldn't matter if it's a big sheep or a little sheep, they're all the same. That's it there. And that's working at 2,000 revs. And the reason this doesn't get hot steel against steel at 2,000 revs, it's the lanolin in the wool, the grease in the wool, that keeps that machine from getting hot. So as long as you keep it to the wool, it won't get hot. That's when you see people learning to shear. They're out of position, they've got a saw back, and it's not in the wool. Next minute you'll see the smoke steaming out of it. And as soon as you put it back on the sheet, you've got a hot comb, the sheet will start to jump. But that's only a learner would do that, or someone that hasn't, once they've been taught that. No? Better put that on. They run out of this. The red mark on this sheep's back is marked. It's only done in chalk, just in case someone might think it's blood, but it's not. As I said, it's only a baby, this one, it's a female, so therefore it'll stay in our flock. That's her first haircut. So she kept pretty still for that. The next time we shear this will be in 12 months' time, when the animal will be twice as big and cut twice as much wool. We don't shear sheep in the winter, and we like to go through winter with about that much cover on. rather than bare short because you get into trouble with the cold snap. That's the wall there. Don't worry about that. As I said, that's in their chalk mark. That'll take it out. So you come and feel it's still warm, this. The sheet won't be that cold tonight because it'll stay in there. That's the dead, it's very soft. That's why it's fairly well sought after. As the sheet gets older, the wood is soft and it's got soft.
Hey, Frankie.